Can everybody hear me or see me? Just doing a quick test. Just want to test this out real quick. If you're out there in Facebook land and you see that I'm live, can you make a comment? Or press a love button or a like button or something like that. So we'll wait. We'll just test and see how this works. It's my first time using live, so I have no idea. I see somebody liked it. So somebody saw it. Angela Murray saw it. Okay, so you're on. That's good. All right, so can you leave a comment, Angela? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Angela, at all? I see 7 people are on. You can hear me, Elise? Good. Okay. All right, good. I just wanted to make sure before we got really going that I tested this out and that I you love watching me. That's funny. Hi everybody. So good. You can hear me. That's great. I'm actually recording this on my laptop that's actually in front of my phone. I wanted to do this on the phone, but we're having some Wi-Fi connection issues, so I wanted to make sure that this kept working. We're not going to get started just yet, but I wanted to make sure that everybody could hear me. This is kind of nerve-wracking because there's nobody here, so I'm just talking to a camera. Let's see. So, I'm going to shut that off. That's good. Hi, Velma. Hi, Velma. This is pretty cool. This could be useful for dog trainers. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. Have some water. I can see your comments, but I can't, from back here, really see what you're saying. So in order for me to see it, I'm going to have to get up a little close. Well, not too bad, though. I mean, we have 16 people already on, which is pretty amazing. We have 5 minutes to go. So that's good. 18 people. So people are starting to see the go live. I can't get on Facebook right now, so if somebody's asking for help getting on, if you guys could, definitely tell them or send them the link to the go live piece, that would be great. Velma, I don't really talk to my dogs like that. Our conversations are vastly different. This is going to be fun. 22 people on. All right. So we have a pretty seriously cannot find your talk. Can somebody send this in a PM to Monique, the link to the live piece, because Monique is having trouble. I can see her little message came up. Can I make it louder? No, I cannot. I have no way to adjust the volume that I'm aware of. But I will certainly try to talk as loud as possible. If you saw my setup, you would be laughing hysterically because you can't hear me too well. Does that help the closer I get? That is better. Okay. You can adjust the volume on your computer. I'm not on my computer because our Wi-Fi is down, so I actually have to do this from my phone. So yes, I think that it would have been much better from my computer, but from my phone, face up close, freaks me out a little. Okay, sorry. Hi, Chad. Hi, Rebecca. All right, so we're getting on up there. No, I meant the individuals. Oh, I can't read that. Just their own PCs. Yeah, if you can turn your volume up as loud as possible, that would be great. You are coming in loud and clear. Excellent. Rockstar status. We've got a little bit more time. I won't start until 8:30. It may not take us a total of 30 minutes. I like the little thumbs up that keep going across the screen. This is pretty fun, to be honest with you. I was a little nervous, but I think this will be good. Headphones help. Okay, I cranked up my volume. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Stan. Hi, Carrie. Carrie from California. We got nothing in Canada. Poor Canadians. Monique, I don't know what to tell you. This is only like my second time running through something like this, so yes, I'll be using headphones as soon as I get home. Okay, I do have my laptop recording this, so for those of you that want more or want to go back, it will be on film. So that's why the laptop is recording, and I'm using my phone. Hi, Jocelyn. Hi, Jessica. Just saying hi to everybody, you know, or he blocked me. I did not block you. Monique. Dave, hey Dave, how are you, man? Becky's, you can't hear. You're gonna probably have to turn your PC up pretty loud. Say hi, Lynn Shaver. Hi, Jackie. Restarted a few times and Canada gets it. Okay, that's good. We're almost there. About a minute to go and we'll get started. There's about 51 people on the broadcast so far, which is amazing. I'm really excited to talk about some of this stuff. It's probably okay. It's not loud. Vaughn would lose his mind. my puppy's loud. I said hi, Lynn. Hi, Lynn Shaver. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Amanda. Really, really appreciate the support coming out. I know you guys could do a lot more things than sit around and listen to me talk. Sorry to say, Kai is not responding to your voice. Oh, she's napping for once. Hi, Courtney. Awesome. Yeah, this works out great. You know, the reason I wanted to test this mainly was to see if we could live stream seminars. Hi, Carol. Better than watching the Republican National Convention. Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. There will be no talks or mentions of any politics in this broadcast. Dogs and only dogs. Okay, so it's 8:30. We're going to get more people coming in. I saw a couple come in. We're at over 60 people. There was about 140 that said they were coming. So we're going to go ahead and get started because there's a lot of information. I don't know. Yeah, headphones are definitely going to be a plus for you, or turning your volume up. I don't get a chance very often to give snippets of a seminar. And I really felt after the last seminar that I did in West Palm, I really felt that the proofing seminar that I did really cemented everything that I teach. And so when I was asked to do that seminar, I really steered clear of it for a little while. I really, I really didn't want to do a seminar where I was doing proofing, because proofing is so individualized to every single dog that it was a really big, broad model, and I didn't want to try to tackle it in a seminar. I had seen other people do it, and I wasn't overly impressed. Not to take away from the trainer, but it's just not how I do it. What I'm going to show you today is what I do for proofing. This is not to take away anything from anybody else. Okay, I don't want anyone. All are being charged per minute. No, you're not being charged per minute. I don't want anybody to think that I feel it's my way or the highway. This is just another tool to put in your toolbox and to think a little bit before we start proofing our dogs. So we're going to talk about a couple of things real quick. What proofing should do. I posted this to Balanced Obedience, so those of you on Balanced Competition Obedience will have already seen pieces of this. But proofing should create a sense of distractions equaling attention. So really, chaos equals attention. If your dog gets put into a situation where there's a lot going on, that should equal reinforcement. Okay? If it doesn't equal reinforcement, then you're going to run into all kinds of problems, because then it's easy for them to go off kilt. You want proofing to build your dog's confidence so that your dog says, I can handle that, I can handle that, I can handle that. But it's how you do that that really is going to cement your performance. You want it to increase focus on the exercise. So if I'm calling my dog and I've been working on wait means watch, the proofing that goes on during wait means watch should start solidifying just watch dad. This is going on equals watch dad. So that's what I really want to communicate to my dog. It should make the job clear. It should increase with success. So as your dog's successful handling one proof, you need to add another, and then another, and then another. A lot of people make the big mistake in proofing, in my opinion. They make it with doing one proof a lot and never adding the others. So it kind of brings us to a chance where we have to talk about the layers of proofing. The first layer is environment. So every time you take your dog into a new environment, you are essentially proofing that dog. That new environment is going to give you lots of different things. I can't take a phone call right now, sorry. Trying to keep it from making any noise. So a new environment is a way to proof your dog. That being said, when I'm taking a green dog into a new environment, the last thing I want to do is add additional distractions. So when you take your dog to a new place, that is the proof. You don't need to add to it, okay? We can proof for noise. So it could be a popcorn bag rustling, it could be, you know, a chair falling or a jump being knocked over. We could proof for command volume. So we could be proofing for, we could be proofing for command volume. Can your dog do it when you yell at them? Can your dog do it when you're quiet with them? Can your dog do it when you whisper? Trying to get that dog to stay engaged, stay focused. Smells. It could be a vendor cooking a hot dog. It could be somebody's really smell good lunch. It could be treat bags. So smells are a big, huge thing that you should proof for. Visual objects. I will never forget, when I was in the ring with Gurley in novice and I did a recall. As I'm going down to the line on her recall, I looked and I'm like, the line is right in front of a box full of toys. That in itself is a proof because it was right off the side. So here my border collie, who likes toys, sees a box of award toys right here. So it could be visual objects. It could be a dumbbell being thrown. It could be articles, or it could be a kid on a scooter. It could be a motorized scooter. It could be any of those things. A judge with funky shoes. I mean, we have those. You could proof for time. So when we start talking about time, let's talk about what that means. I had a judge one time set me up, so move me over here and say, all right, down here for signals. And then they went and wrote in their book. We've all had some of that stuff happen. As they're writing in their book, the time is ticking. And my little dog and I, because nerves got the best of me, are sitting here and we're waiting. And when I gave her the signal to heel, she sat there. Because I hadn't proofed for time. So time between commands, time where they have to sit and wait. Time is really good for anticipation, but it's also good just to see your setups. How long can your dog set up and still maintain attention? So proof for time. Human pressure, that's an easy one. Everybody handles human pressure. They set their dog up, they have the judge come in behind them or another trainer. You proof a lot for human pressure, even if you don't think you are. Ring gate pressure, that's something that more herding dogs are going to deal with. It took 6 months to get Gurley to walk through a ring gate with her head up. So the ring gates themselves were a lot of pressure. You need to proof for that. You need to make sure that your dog can handle working inside. What? It keeps freezing up after the first sentence. That's okay. If you are having problems with the live feed, know that I'm recording that too, so that way we can hopefully have a video if there was a problem, because I wanted to make sure that if there was a problem with the live feed that we had this. Emotions. I tell my students, train when you're happy, train when you're sad, train when you're mad, train when you're emotional. You know, how you train in those times is all going to, I can see where it's freezing. It's all going to depend on how you're training your dog. If you're mad, break out your clicker. If you're in a really good mood, maybe now's the time to use your pinch collar. If you're, sad, maybe it's time to work on something that you're really good at. But your dog, live should be pulsing at the top left pec. Okay. I'm getting it fine. Good. Okay, good. So, your emotions should not stop you from dog training. It just changes your training. So when you're pissed, like I said, use your clicker. That's a shaping opportunity. But your dog needs to know how to handle you changing your emotions, because nerves are a changed emotion. So I always tell people, proof for emotions. What does this say? Okay, all right, good, Film, I'm glad you're getting that. So these are the layers of proofs. So as you're talking about proofing, and we're talking about the layers, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 layers of proofing. When I first started speaking, and I started to set up how I was going to do a seminar, what was going to be important, what I wanted to make sure everybody got, I started with a foundation seminar, which taught people how to teach their dogs to heel and do all of the foundation exercises for open and utility. Teaching it in a motivational yet balanced way, so that way the dog understood it very clearly. The next piece to it was a drilling seminar where I taught people how to effectively do repetition. Effective repetition was important, because the problem with a lot of trainers, we've bought into the fact that less is more. Well, no, more is more. So when I train, and I'm training with my dog, I want to do more. Maybe not formally, but informally, I want to do a lot more. So I will set up something, and in the second seminar, the positive drilling, we went over how to positively drill and add repetition to all of the exercises. The third seminar was proofing, because if your dog can't handle repetition, if your dog cannot handle understanding that repetition brings reinforcement, and it didn't have a balanced approach in its foundation, then the proofing is just going to be a gotcha. And that's one of the things that you don't want to do when you proof your dog. Don't set them up for gotcha. I see so many people, and I've done it myself, where you go to a show and shit hits the fan and you didn't have a plan for it, and you walk out and you go home and you set them up to correct them. But truly, when you start teaching with distractions, you need to not play gotcha. Okay, so you want to build in each layer of these distractions. So with proofing, one of the pieces that I like to do is I like to take a simple proof and build in the distraction. But you don't build in just one. You build in 2, 3, 4, 5. As you play this building piece, so let's just say we were going to talk about a recall. And so I left the dog, and I had somebody standing behind it, and I called the dog, and the dog came just fine and did a beautiful straight front. And then the next time I told the handler behind them, I said, hey, why don't you go ahead and follow the dog in a little bit, stop halfway. And the dog handled that just fine. And then I'd say, okay, this time come in 3/4 of the way. The dog understood the repetition was fine. The repetition didn't mean you're in trouble or you're upset. The repetition meant you're going to get reinforced. But the handler, the pressure from the human, changed every single time. So I made the dog successful the first time by keeping the pressure back. The second time I brought the pressure up a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And so then I built. So once the handler could stand on top of my dog, the next 3 or 4 were going to be where he was going to introduce noise, smells, sights. So this person may be waving a toy. Then maybe waving a toy with cookies in it. Then maybe waving a toy with cookies in it while there's a little Caesar dog food container on the ground. So that way the dog, each time I built that dog, I was clear exactly what I wanted regardless of what was going on. But I didn't start off with waving around the toy with the food all in it. I started off initially saying, you can handle repetition, and now let's proof you. So I like to start off with noise, which typically takes the shape of a crinkled bag, food, which is everywhere, and smells. So I would get the stinkiest stuff you can find, whether it would be canned dog food or liverwurst or any of those things. That's where I would use smell. You can add a fan to a can of Alpo and create a pretty potent smell. What I like the most about introducing the distractions this way is you find out what your dog's most worried by. 9 times out of 10, when I see somebody that has a problem with their dog in the ring, it's not one layer of distraction that's a problem. They can handle just fine the human pressure. The human pressure is just a problem when we add in smell or command volume or a visual object. So, don't think of your problems in the ring as just one layer of distraction that is causing it. You need to think of it in layers, and you need to build all of your behavior chains into each layer. So if you don't do that, you're going to have all kinds of issues that you'll be fighting by the time you get to the ring. Okay, not working for that person. Sorry about that. Well, it'll definitely be recorded, Heidi, so if you hear that. One of the other things that you need to look at when I tell my students, when you go to a dog show and you set up, take a picture of the ring. The minute you get there, take a picture. I typically do this when I'm showing utility because it allows me to see from the dog's perspective what we're looking at, what could be happening around the ring, and what other issues could be happening. What I love about doing that is it creates a catalog for us trainers that says, okay, this is what XYZ show, this is what their go-outs looked like last year. XYZ show, this is what the open ring looked like last year. And we can kind of train accordingly. I had a student that was messing up their go-outs. Their go-outs just were horrible at this one trial, and we couldn't figure out what the problem was. Well, when we had looked, I don't know how much you're going to be able to see of this, but the ring was shaped like this, so it's like a U, and here were the jumps. Here was the open ring, so the broad jump was about here. Here was the high jump. They were throwing the dumbbell to the left, to the same exact corner where glove 1 was. Okay? So the dog stood back and was marked, and they saw the dumbbell go to glove 1. Now, interestingly enough, the dogs all had glove 1. So it was no surprise when we went back and thought about what the problem was that the dogs were going to glove number 1. Because we hadn't layered visual objects, and we hadn't layered some time. So what had happened, we had sent the dog to glove 1, and then they saw a visual in that same corner, and then we tried to send them to a straight go out. So these are scenarios. What? Oh, sorry, Vilma. I can't talk now. These are all scenarios that you need to be cognizant of when you're showing. A lot of people fail to think about the whole problem. I've heard people come out of the ring and say, oh, that judge was right on top of me and it was making my dog distracted. Well, the judge was right on top of you making the dog distracted, but so was the people out here eating their lunch. So now you have a smell, a sound, and human pressure. And you didn't prove any of those. You may have proved for noise. Maybe you just play your radio during your training sessions. If you play your radio training sessions, great. You're handling one piece. You're handling noise. There are 1,000 other layers that you need to be adding into your training. In the seminar that I taught on proofing, we went through how to effectively do that. We don't have the time to go through effectively how to do each exercise. But one thing that I will tell you is I see a lot of spaghetti model proofing. And what I mean by spaghetti model is you're doing things, it keeps cutting out and stopping. Okay, again, I'm recording it so you get to see on YouTube via recording as soon as I can. But the one thing that I see is the spaghetti model. never be balloons at your go out. There will never be turtles in your article pile. These are things that you need proof for. Proof for real crap. Don't proof for stuff that's never going to happen. If you proof for things that are never going to happen, then you're really wasting your, you're wasting your time. I would rather go ahead and proof for things like this scenario, for food vendor, or proof for it keeps buffering. We'll have to watch the recorded one. The live feed is live. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep going because I'm recording. So if it cuts in and out, I apologize. Just we gave it a good go. But you guys, when we're proofing, don't set up ridiculous things they're never gonna see. I had a dog one time doing articles, and pigeons flew over his article pile. Am I going to set that up? Probably not. I'm not going to set up scenarios that aren't real. Hairballs rolling around the ring? Sure, that's going to happen. A tennis ball that somebody drops and it rolls into your ring? Sure, that could happen. So set up the things that are real. Don't set up crap. Okay? If you set up real scenarios, then when your dog is faced with them, you will see a much better return on your attention reinforcement. So I want you to think about how you're proofing your dogs and what you're doing now and start adding to it. Like I said, balloons that go out are never going to happen, so why do it? Now there may be a banner. There could be another dog on the other side doing the broad jump. There could be other things, but you're not going to, there's no need to set out squeaky toys all over go out because that's not going to happen. Proof for what's real. Proof for the things that are going to give you your best return on investment. If you're paying for attention, then you need to pay for attention that could help you. I'm really, really, really excited about this seminar. It's probably some of the best work that I've done. Really excited to do a couple more of them. I think that a lot of us are not spending the time to make chaos equal attention. And if you're not spending the time to make chaos equal attention, you're really missing a piece that is important. I have a very sensitive border collie, and had I not spent the time to make chaos equal attention, everything could have bothered her. And I spent the time to use my children and to use my wife and to use electronics to help me make chaos equal attention. And that, to me, is one of the pieces that we need to spend more time on after the dogs are trained. So many of us keep running the dogs through. When you run them through, you're not reinforcing enough. Proofing training should be high-level reinforcement. Very little correction. If you're correcting a dog in chaos, the chaos equals correction. It doesn't equal reinforcement or attention. So you have to be careful. But keep going. Don't let it bother you. Just more distractions. Now you understand exactly how our dogs feel. Yeah, definitely. But a lot of us, when you play gotcha with the dog, you set them up and you correct the dog for looking or doing whatever. Now you're saying that when there's a distraction, a correction is coming. When what I want the dogs just to say, distraction's happening, work harder, work more. So I think that as we start to do proofing and you start to take your training to a new level, you get through the teaching phase, you get through the drilling phase where you're working on repetition. Now when you start to proof, you're proofing smarter. You're saying, this is important to me that I teach you this, and so I'm going to figure out how to add layered distractions to each one of my exercises. Again, when you go to a new environment, you don't have to add layered distractions because the new environment has all the new distractions that you could ever want. But when you're training in your same old training building, you're doing yourself no favors by not adding layered distraction. If you don't add the layers and you don't make each and every session harder and harder and harder for that dog to pay attention, and you reinforce when they're correct, you're going to have problems. There are very few dogs that can really shine in heavily distracted environments without proofing. Chaos equals McDonald's. Yes, for your dog it definitely does, Jerry. And that's what it needs to equal. It needs to equal McDonald's. I'm shocked when I go to training with other people and I see them set something up and they correct the dog, or they put a bunch of stuff that the dog's never gonna see, and I'm like, that's not proofing to me. That is not going to give me the return on investment that I want. When I taught proofing classes, I would put 2 or 3 distractions in each proof to make my students build up to it. With my own personal dogs, I do the building. So I start small and I add the proofs to the drill in layers. So you need to think of how you can add smells, and how you can add noise, and how you can add pressure, and how you can add time, and how you can add all of this to each piece of your behavior chains that are needed for the AKC or CKC or even IPO ring. I really, really, really think that there are a lot of really great dog trainers out there. I also think there are a lot of great people that are hobbyists like me. What people don't understand about me is that I don't own a great big facility, and I don't train all day. I'm actually in the corporate office of where I actually work during my day job. And you can be successful too. You don't have to own a big facility and to be successful. You just have to train smart, use your reinforcement wisely, and follow the steps. Have a good foundation. Spend a lot of time on your foundation. Teach your dog that repetition is not a bad thing. And then layer your distractions, which are the principles of proofing, is teaching your dog to handle layered distractions. So once you get through positive drilling, and you get through proofing, and you get through balanced teaching, you're at a spot where you can start showing and doing well. But a lot of people start showing at the foundation stage. They haven't drilled the dogs to get the repetition and the reinforcement in, and they haven't taught them that chaos equals attention. And these are places where people are missing the boat, and they're wondering why they're missing the boat, and this is where your holes are. And when I did this seminar, I had a little Dachshund owned by a very good friend of mine, and he is scared to death of everything. And I wasn't completely sure that this was the right seminar for him, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, this dog needs confidence. And the time that I've spent with some really great trainers, confidence is number 1. So I made her come. And at the end of this seminar, this little dog that wanted to run away, this little dog is now running down a row of people that are shaking toys, and holding cookies, and that are, making all kinds of noise when he couldn't even